Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be talking about the K2 Manifest, the board that's the homage to Aaron Robinson, one of the fallen members of their team. This board is available in 153, 156, 159, 162, 157 wide, 160 wide, and 164 wide. This board features K2's directional combination camber baseline, which is directional cam rocker. So you got rocker in the tip and the tail and camber underfoot. You'll have a little bit more rocker in the nose than in the tail just because it's directional. And what you get is the snap and pop of camber from underfoot, but the play and ease of entry of rocker in the tip and the tail. Board at Arapahoe Basin in the spring on a sunny bluebird day, with a storm that was way off in the distance starting to roll in, which was weird because there wasn't any wind at the resort and the snow was firm and fast in most spots, but you could occasionally get into some lumpy, chundery shit bits wherever there was like shade and whatnot going on. Then I rode this board with my K2 Thraxis boots and my K2 Indy bindings. Alright, so let's talk about this board. What you have is a slightly twin directional flex, which means slightly softer nose, progressively stiffening up towards the tail, with a fair amount of torsional flex. Overall, I would say this board is just a hair past middle of the road for all mountain flex. It's a very lively board. You will notice the tips flapping at speeds, and you will feel that underfoot. This is a board that when you get in rutted out terrain, it will bend and flex with everything, but it will not buck you. Overall, there's some snap in the Manifest, and you do have to load that camber profile to get it to rebound, but what you want to do is get that camber section to hit right where that rocker is, creating a flex point. When you do, that thing will pop, and it will be really solid. Otherwise, you know, it's okay, it gets the job done. I didn't hit anything big in terms of jumps, but from what I did, this board can handle it. You know, I really wouldn't worry about it. It's kind of not what it's geared towards. It's more like that free ride board that you can hit some park with, but it handles jumps just fine. I'll say this, the nose is easier to butter on than the tail. It's just softer flexing. You can really engage that rocker, really press into it. The tail takes a little bit more work. It's one of those boards that you want to have a little speed and a little more finesse to get it to engage the way you want. Now I did hit some rails with it. Why? Because that's just what I do sometimes. And the nose locks into nose press as well. The tail press, yeah, you just got to be sitting over that back binding and really push into it. And the cambered section for the most part kind of just cradles on that rail, just sort of teeters and totters. There's a little bit of hugging effect to it, but I mean, this board borders more on the freeride spectrum than it does on the freestyle spectrum. This board is fairly nimble edge to edge. On lower angle, slower speed carves, I did feel it kind of just wash out a little bit. It didn't grip as well, but you know, on like high speed, just steeper terrain, it dug in and it gripped well, and it just wanted to keep on ripping and just push through everything in its path. The tail definitely has the most power in this board, and you can really just load up off that camber section and drive it into the tail and get it to slingshot you out of turns. Who's this board for? The all-mountain freerider that might dabble a little bit in freestyle. So I didn't love this board, but I didn't hate this board. You know, you have a lot of drive off the tail, which makes it fun. It really makes it slightly aggressive, but it just felt like a downgraded broadcast. And that's kind of where it just doesn't win my favor. The fact that it would wash out on lower angle terrain was just a bummer, because sometimes in lower angle terrain, it's fun to carve around slow people or those goddamn hill sitters. Why the fuck are they sitting in the middle of the hill? You gotta carve around them. That's kind of why it's a snowboard. It gets the job done. It's not mind-blowing, but it's also not a turd. Comparable boards, the Yes Pick Your Line, the Wired Vantage series, the Niche Maelstrom. This has been my review of the K2 Manifest. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the content we've got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you'd really like to support us and you really want to see us just build out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a whole video over there that explains it better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.